Hello. In this video, I will walk through the creation of a Windows VDI virtual machine in Ansys Access on Microsoft Azure Cloud Engineering Solution. Here I have a blank workspace. I'm going to create new resource, virtual desktop. Location will be in East US. I have the option to use a template. I'm going to walk through all of the steps in this wizard. If I had a template that fit my requirements, I could just select the template and skip to the end. More about template creation at the end of this video. For now, I'm just going to skip the templates and manually configure. Choose my operating system, in this case Windows. Next, we select the applications to install. These packages are created and maintained by Ansys. It's very easy to install them. You can see there are some Ansys applications as well as non-Ansys. Also note, if you want to install applications that are not listed here, you can do that manually after the VM is running. I'll start with the Ansys Discovery. As with many of the tools, there's options to configure them. In this case, the most important one is the license server, as well as a few installation options. These options can all be set by default by the tenant administrator. So for example, you could configure it so that everyone automatically points to the correct license server and they can just take the default options. I could proceed to the next step, or I could add additional applications. To add additional applications, I click the Add Application button, which returns me to this spot. We add the electronics desktop. In this case, there are dependencies. So I'm notified here that these applications will also be added. Click Continue, and I can see them listed here. In this case, there's no configuration required, and also asking for a license server on electronics desktop. And I can also add these non-Ansys applications as well. Additionally, once the machine is up and running, I can add more applications. Next, I select the hardware I want to use for this VM. As you can see, there are many options, around 500 different possible selections. So to help narrow down, we've got recommended hardware for VDI workflows. Clicking on this will open up a help document. And if we click on the recommended virtual machine sizes for VDI workflows, we can see that I have a list of applications and the different hardware we recommend for those. The key question to ask is, what will this VM be used for? Will it be primarily pre and post processing, in which case a graphics card might be most important? Or will it be used mostly for solving? Does the solver use GPU or only CPU? So you need to understand a little bit about the applications and how they're going to be used. So in this case, I've chosen Discovery and Electronics Desktop. Discovery is just for geometry prep, but it does require a graphics card. If I'm only using Space Claim, I could get by without using a graphics card, but it's still recommended. I'll just start with the first one. So this would be the full name of the instance that's recommended. Easiest if I just search for the NC8. The same VM comes up. I see that I don't have any quota. This is a common situation. You may or may not have quota for the exact recommended machines. You can look at a different type of NC, different size possibly, or pick an alternative such as the NV12S here. So again, I have the exact match for this, and I do have quota for it, so I could select this machine. But let's go on. Since it's more than just a discovery application, I have I have Electronics Desktop also installed on here. And you can see there's many more different kind of recommendations for Electronics Desktop because there's more different things you can do with it. Is it for pre and post? Is it for compute, GPU compute? One note about the recommendations as they're listed. Sometimes it lists the entire exact VM name. Other times it lists a series. So we see this is the NCV3 series, but if I just type in here NCV3, I get no hits because the way it's written is not sequential. So I could type NC, and then the ones that end in V3 are the NC V3 series with multiple sizes. In this document, we have included all of the Ansys applications. So it's just a matter of coming here, finding your application, thinking about how the VM will be used, and choosing the appropriate hardware. Let's say I want to choose this NV-V3, only 6 physical cores, so probably not going to do any heavy solving on it. This will be a primarily prep post machine. I want to choose the default grid drivers for graphics and select Next. Now I configure my storage. By default, there's one local disk size. Now local here, it's still a network drive. It's not locally attached. This will be all the applications installed on here, OS and applications on this first disk. I can choose a larger one if I want, as well as a speed. And then I have the option of attaching a second disk. Next step, you may or may not need to enter some tags here. In this case, requires an email address of the person creating it. And then we can name the VM and finish. We recommend that you use descriptive names, whatever key information is. If you're creating a VM for each user, put the user's name in that VM. If it's for specific applications, specific projects, use something relevant. You may have multiple users using the same project space, seeing the same VMs. You don't want them accidentally confusing them and shutting off someone's VM or making changes to it. So, give it a descriptive name. And you can review all of the selections, and you can click Create Virtual Desktop. Or I can create this as a template, so save a template. Early on in the process, there was an option to select templates. Here is where you create those templates. If I save a template, all of these options will be selected. So I'll have the applications, I'll have hardware, disk size, and then I can just quickly select the template and create the machine. You can also select a template and modify it. So I can still add or remove applications or change the hardware if most of the template fits, but some of it does not. I will now create the virtual desktop. After a short delay, we return to the project space where we can now see the VM I just created. The status is installing services. After a few minutes, the VM should transition to the next step, which is installing the applications. You can view the progress under Applications. The Ansys packages could take up to several hours to install. We recommend waiting for the installation process to finish before connecting to the VM. The VM is now in the running state, and all the applications are installed. You can also verify that the shutdown timers are in the desired state. And if you do not need to install any additional software, the VM is ready to use. If you do want to install third-party applications that are not part of the Ansys packages, you can connect to the VM and install them manually. In the project space settings, if you're an admin of the project space, you can set permissions of the users. Any admin or Windows admin will have administration rights to the Windows VM to install software. If you'd like to install software, click Connect to connect from RDP. A small RDP file will be downloaded. Run the file to connect. After connecting, you will see a Windows desktop. The Ansys applications are installed here, and you can now install any third-party apps you wish. When you want to shut down the machine, do not shut down from the Start menu. Go back to Access and stop the VM here.